Alright, well guys, here is my last video for the Surge. It's going to be an OP Rhino build. It is a very fun build to play with. It is extremely offensive build with weak defense, which is the problem here, especially because I'm testing everything on New Game Plus, where you're going to receive a lot more damage than in New Game. So this build is rather simple. Wearing the full Rhino set will give you increased impact from weapons when you are under an effect from any kind of implant that increases your damage. So that means mechanized counterweight or energized power cell. From some testing that I did, I found out that mechanized counterweight is better because the damage difference when you are targeting unarmored body parts from your enemies is minimal, but when you are targeting armored parts, you're going to do a lot more damage with mechanized counterweight. So in general, mechanized counterweight seems like a better option, at least from testing on humanoid enemies. Now on robotic enemies, energized power cell seems to be a better one. But robotic enemies are fewer in numbers in this game than humanoid enemies from what I've seen. Because of the bonus from this set, I feel like twin rigged weapons are the best. Why? Well, the only negative sides from twin rigged weapons are a low energy gain, which we don't really need for this build, and low impact. With this set, without the mechanized counterweight active, you'll have by default medium impact, which is good. But when mechanized counterweight is active, you're going to have high impact with twin rigged weapons. And when I'm saying twin rigged weapons, please don't put Claws of the Gestalt in the same sentence, because Claws of the Gestalt by default with this Rhino set without mechanized counterweight active will have high impact, which is the highest impact that you can get. There's no more than high. So that's bloody fantastic. That's why I feel Claws of the Gestalt are the best possible weapon for this build, but if you are on your first playthrough, any kind of twin rigged weapon will be great. But Firebug Throttle version 2 would be the best, simply because of its combos. You'll do additional fire damage to your enemies. And if you're using Firebug Throttle version 2, you'll mostly use two combo types. One combo is when you do R1 attack 2 times, then R2 attack. That will initiate a circle of fire around you that will deal damage over time to your enemies. The other combo is the backflip combo, one amazingly fun thing to do, but sometimes my guy does it, sometimes he doesn't. I don't know what affects the final version of how the combo will look like, but from what I tested, I feel like if you press R1 button once and then R2 button twice, you'll do a backflip combo. That worked most of the time for me. I'm kinda iffy on that, what's the proper button input to get that combo, but for me it worked, as I said, one time R1 and 2 times R2. You will see in most of these situations how I've defeated the last section enemies with ease, which means that the build is really powerful. Now let's get on to gear. As for the helmet from the Rhino armor set, you'll get energy consumption for your drone plus 30%. And you get damage against armored minus 8%, damage against unarmored plus 8%. Now, because of the energy consumption that is a lot higher than usual, you will not be using your drone so much. That's why I went with Lotto Vitality Boost, which I will cover in implants. For body gear you get plus 10% stamina consumption for your attacks, and for Rhino arm pieces you get plus 60% more impact, but you get minus 8% attack speed. That's why I feel twin rigged are the best, because they are the fastest and they will negate that attack speed disadvantage. As for the leg pieces, you'll get more consumption from your stamina for dodging and running, which we will counter with more stamina in general. Close of the Gestalt, best weapon for this and probably best weapon in the game overall. Use it, if not, use Firebug Throttle version 2. Now this is the implant section. As you can see, I went with 6 vital boosts. I have 700 HP. Why I went with that? It's because I need a lot of health to survive, simply because I can't use my anti-kinetic shield with drone often because of the higher energy consumption when using my drone. Go for 3 or 4 if you're mid-game in your first playthrough. Trust me on that one, you're going to need it. Aggression Amplifier is always a good choice because you will heal up in between ops areas. Go with 2 Endurance Enhancers because of the higher energy consumption with everything that you do with this armor set. The one thing that is necessity for this build is Mechanized Counterweight version 4. I already told you it's better than Energized Power Cell, at least from testings that I did. And get yourself Recapacitator and Voltaic Dynamo. And that's all you need for the setup. Also put how many vital injections you think you need. As for the rest of the slots, if you are at a higher level, Pneumatic Calibrator that will reduce your stamina consumption is really good. And you can also get Sustaining Array to reduce the energy decay. But as I've said before, the energy is not a focus for this build. You only need it to activate Mechanized Counterweight, which you can constantly do with Recapacitator XL version. Voltaic Dynamo is here to increase the energy gain from your attacks because twin rigged weapons have a really low energy gain. And that will be it, lads. I hope you enjoyed the build. This is the last video for the Surge. I will do an update tomorrow on the channel, what my plans are for the future. And thank you all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support.